You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about sports in the state of Michigan? You've got the truth, all right. Can you handle the truth? Find out right now on the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, the show that detects and provides truth, research, and statistics about the Tigers, Lions, Red Wings, Pistons, Wolverines, and Spartans. Subscribe to its YouTube channel at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast and listen to it in audio form wherever you get your podcasts. Follow it on X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Michigan_Truth and on Reddit at u/Michigan_Truth, and like its Facebook page and know the truth. Taylor Phillips here, your Michigan sports detective, detecting truth, reality, statistics, research. Got some Lions to talk about. A lot of Tigers stuff to clear up. Their offseason needs, Tarek Skubal, a lot of coaching changes, plus a little bit of Red Wings and a little bit of Pistons as well. But here's our disclaimer. This podcast is hosted by someone who has autism. That's me. I have autism. If you're arrogant and disrespectful, don't even bother commenting. Keep your thoughts to yourself and stay away from this podcast. If you want to judge someone with a disability, you're in trouble, buddy. You're asking for trouble. So, starting off with the Lions library. The Lions, of course, as we all know, as we're aware of, they stand pat at the trade deadline. Why, you ask? Because General Manager Brad Holmes does it for a purpose to save all their future draft picks and save up on payroll money. But the one thing that Brad Holmes could have done is could have traded someone away for an extra offensive lineman or guard or tackle or two or three, because their offensive line has been weak and depleted, which is a big reason why the team lost to the Minnesota Vikings at home this past Sunday. Taylor Decker has been laboring of late. Christian Mahogany is out for several weeks, and the rest of it is just not pushing or pulling their weight against the opposing defensive front seven. For example, they could have traded with the Tennessee Titans for former Lions offensive guard Kevin Zeitler and got him back. But if anyone, has some feedback or has another idea that's better than Kevin Zeitler, leave a comment here on YouTube and on Instagram and on Twitch as I broadcast live on the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. The Lions have to do something with their offensive line somehow. And they did add Jack Conley, an offensive lineman from the New England Patriots, to their practice squad. So he might play. He might start. He might even start in Washington, in D.C. against the Washington Commanders Sunday at 4:25 on Fox. By the way, Miles Frazier and Josh Paschal are returned to practice earlier this Wednesday. So that's a good sign. They're limited practice, but that's progress. So the Commanders did get linebacker Frankie Luvu back after he appealed the suspension and won, but they still had plenty of other injuries, like Jaden Daniels, who absolutely got his arm busted in that Sunday night football game against the Seattle Seahawks. And then we got Dorance Armstrong at defensive end on the IR. Also got 5 questionable players: Eddie Goldman, Trey Amos, Quan Martin, Tyler Owens, and Jerzon Newton. Yeah, a lot of, like, over 10 Commanders players on the injured reserve. Jane Daniels is not on the injured reserve, but he's out with he's got a dislocated elbow. Yeah, that's part of the arm, buddy. Also, Marshawn Lattimore on the IR, Luke McCaffrey on the IR, Drake Jackson on the IR, Armstrong I already mentioned on the IR, Noah Brown on the injured reserve, along with Javante Jean-Baptiste, Will Harris, Dietrich Weiss Jr., Austin Eckler, Lucas Niang, and Tyree Jackson. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's over 10. I nailed it right on the money. So there you have it. So you got 8 players questionable: Terry McLaurin, Colson Yankoff, Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt, being the other 3. So the Lions, of course, have to take advantage of that, even with a weak offensive line. But that offensive line has to get stronger, more importantly, to protect Jared Goff, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Plus the Lions defense has to do better at stopping the opposing run. So to project, the Lions are predicted to get revenge against the Washington Commanders. That is at Northwest Stadium. It's not FedEx. It's not at FedEx. No longer FedEx Field. By the way, the Commanders are expecting a new stadium of their own in like 2030. But I digress. The Lions are 8.5-point favorites. But we'll see what happens. I'm not here to make predictions. I'm just here to point out all the details. Again, get your offensive line stronger. Improve in stopping the opposing run, and also contain Frankie Louvu, because he's a dangerous line. He's dangerous at linebacker. So that's Lions and Commanders Sunday at 4:25 on Fox. That's America's Game of the Week. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady on the call on Fox. And that's Lions. That's the Lions library. Let me take a sip of my water here. The Tigers Tribune, of course. The Tigers made a lot of coaching changes. I'll get to the players momentarily. The Tigers have hired Alex Smith as vice president of baseball strategy from the Chicago Cubs, a former baseball operations associate. They've also hired Brad Ciolek from the Washington Nationals as the new director of international operations, and transitioned Tom Moore to senior advisor of international operations. They've also hired Orioles hitting coach Cody Ash as assistant hitting coach, and Theo Hooper as assistant director of amateur scouting, and promoted Christian Hook to director of pitching evaluation. Oh, they're not even done yet. They've hired Anthony Sanders as first base coach, promote Billy Boyer to MLB quality control coach, and George Giblin to vice president of health and performance, and fired Gary Jones from their coaching staff. Now to the players. So the Tigers are making lots of coaching staff changes and training staff changes as well. So wow, Tigers are retooling their staff. They're going a little outside the box. I love that, by team president Scott Harris and general manager Jeff Greenberg. So those guys in the Tigers front office are not fooling around. But as for the players, we start off with Jack Flaherty exercising his $20 million player option 2 days before Thursday's contract option deadline. What do you people think of that? Leave a comment on YouTube or in the live chat, since this is still going live, or leave a comment later on after this live stream concludes. Also on Twitch and on Instagram. Tarek Skubal, of course, becoming a back-to-back American League Cy Young Award finalist. There's still a lot of trade talk involving Tarek Skubal. It's like the meat of the matter. The Tigers fans and media, including myself as a fan, are concerned about, are aware of. Now, radio play-by-play announcer Dan Dickerson suggested that the Tigers keep him and build more talent around him from the farm system. But our question is, do they have enough money to keep him on the roster? I strongly doubt they will, but we never know until the moment of truth occurs on its own later down the road. We've also heard around Major League Baseball that, of course, Boston Red Sox third baseman Alex Bregman opts out of his contract and becomes an unrestricted free agent. So does Seattle Mariners third baseman Eugenio Suarez. ESPN's David Schoenfield pointed out that Bregman has a lower strikeout rate than Suarez, and the Tigers don't want another guy alongside Riley Green with another high strikeout rate. And Schoenfield's got a point. We all agree we want less strikeouts from our hitters, from the Tigers hitters, let alone starting lineup. So what do the Tigers need this offseason? An extra starting pitcher or two, relief pitchers, a third baseman, and an outfielder. Now, the player the Tigers were matched by Schoenfield as best fit for it if they trade Tarek Skubal is left-handed pitcher Roniger Suarez from the Philadelphia Phillies, a career who has recorded a 3.25 ERA in his last 5 seasons. Last season, 3.20 ERA, 38 walks, 151 strikeouts in 157 innings pitched in 2025. The Athletics' Jim Bowden, who is also a former MLB team general manager, matched the Tigers as one of several teams as a great fit for Eugenio Suarez as well. But still, I would prefer Bregman over Suarez. Because, again, like Schoenfield pointed out, Bregman has a lower strikeout rate than Suarez. Also, San Diego Padres right-handed pitchers Dylan Cease and Michael King. Dylan Cease is a popular name. Arizona Diamondbacks right-handed pitcher Zach Gallen. Toronto Blue Jays, AL champion Toronto Blue Jays right-handed pitcher Chris Bassett in relief. Either relief or starting, I don't know. Also, New York Mets sidearm right-handed pitcher Tyler Rogers and Atlanta Braves closing pitcher Raisel Iglesias. I think Chris Castellani wanted someone from the Milwaukee Brewers, a pitcher from the Milwaukee Brewers. I think it's his last name is Miller. I'm trying to dig it up right now on my phone on his X at Castellani 2014. I'm still scrolling down, Brandon Woodruff, thank you very much. He has a 7-2 record he had a 7-2 record in 12 games in the regular season with a 3.20 ERA, 83 strikeouts, a 0.91 whip. Thank you, Chris. And Woodruff has declined half of his mutual option, according to a source from Adam McCalvey. Woodruff is 32 years of age. McCalvey is a Brewers beat writer and author of the Milwaukee Brewers at 50 years old. So Brandon Woodruff should be another good option. I'm not sure whether he's a starting or relief pitcher, but anyway, those are all the options out there that I've listed, from Schoenfield and Bowden and Castellani, and then Tigers free agent. Tigers becoming unrestricted free agents: Tommy Canley, Kyle Finnegan, Chris Paddock, Alex Cobb, Rafael Montero, and Gleyber Torres. Who to keep and who to get rid of? I think it's obvious we want Tigers fans want Chris Paddock out. Alex Cobb, $15 million deal, which was a waste. He missed the entire season. We just didn't know. We just didn't get to see how much potential Alex Cobb would have proved to the Tigers table. Rafael Montero had his ups and downs. It's a toss-up. Gleyber Torres, I would re-sign him. Tommy Canley, no way. I would keep Kyle Finnegan. Now, Gleyber Torres, as we go back to him, could receive a $22.025 million qualifying offer. That was pointed out by TigersMLB.com beat writer Jason Beck. And speaking of money, speaking of which, their payroll projection is $115 million, which includes $28.3 million in guaranteed contracts, including shortstop Javier Baez at $24 million, which is 20%, and infielder Colt Keith at $4.3 million. Let me take another sip of my water. Also, $20 million more in player options, including starting pitcher Jack Flaherty, who, as I mentioned before, exercised his option for 2026 worth $20 million. Also, $10 million in club options. Right-handed pitcher Randy Dobnak at $6 million already rejected, and Jose Urquidy at the other $4 million. So the Tigers would like to keep Jose Urquidy, from what I'm sensing. They've already gotten rid of Randy Dobnak. Also, $10 million more in mutual options, including right-handed pitcher Paul Sewell, which is expected to be declined by the organization. And then we got $61.65 million in salary arbitration. There are 15 players eligible for arbitration. Right-handed pitcher Tanner Rainey at $1.6 million. Tarek Skubal at $17.8 million. Starting pitcher Casey Mize at $5.4 million. Catcher Jake Rogers at $2.9 million. That should be an interesting one, because Jake Rogers still has yet a lot more to prove at the plate. Also, closing pitcher Will Vest at $3.3 million. I would definitely avoid arbitration with Vest, because Will Vest has pitched his lights has pitched his ass off. He has pitched lights out. Not perfect, but he's pitched lights out in 2025, especially in the closing pitcher role, as we all saw throughout the entire 2025 regular season and in the postseason. Utility man Zach McKinstry at $3.5 million. Outfielder and third baseman Matt Vierling at $3.1 million. Relief pitcher Jason Foley at $3.15 million. I'd keep him. Relief pitcher Alex Lang at $900,000. That's all just under $1 million. I'd still keep Alex Lang. I would put Matt Vierling in arbitration, but Zach McKinstry, he's not terrible. He's just sometimes he's not smart, but he has yet to work on his thinking skills, his awareness and stuff. But McKinstry can hit. His base running skills still need more work from the mental perspective. But I would still avoid arbitration with McKinstry. I'm okay to work with McKinstry if I was the coaching staff. And then second baseman and third baseman Andy Ibanez at $1.8 million. Ibanez cannot hit. Also, outfielder Riley Green at $6.6 million. First baseman Spencer Torkelson at $5.1 million. Designated hitter and outfielder Kerry Carpenter, mostly an outfielder, at $3.5 million. I definitely avoid arbitration with him, with Carpenter, who they call Kerry Bonds. Relief pitcher Bo Brisky at $1.3 million, GTFO. And relief pitcher Tyler Holton at $1.7 million. Holton has usually been good, but sometimes he blows it in high leverage situations. So retaining all 15 of them would cost the Tigers organization, more than $60 million, with nearly 30% thereof going to Tarek Skubal himself. And Tanner Rainey, as I mentioned before, is expected to be non-tendered. Brisky, Foley, Ibanez, Lang, and Vierling are possible non-tender candidates also due to injuries and underperformance. And then finally, the last $15 million in pre-arbitration with starting pitcher Reese Olson, Wenzel Perez, outfielder Wenzel Perez, center fielder Parker Meadows, and catcher Dylan Dingler, one of the AL Gold Glove Award winners. And the MLB minimum salary is $780,000 for 2026. So who would you rather? So that tells you something. That would leave Mize, Rogers, Vest, McKinstry, Torkelson and Carpenter being kept on this roster possibly. So they're staying put. There's no possible way they're being non-tendered. So those guys that are left that are not listed can stay, I guess. So we'll keep an eye on the Tigers organization and their offseason. That's the Tigers Tribune. As the wing wheel turns, the Red Wings, as we get an update, are expected to get Patrick Kane back by the end of this week from his upper body injury. And that's a good sign. They need him. Their offense has been struggling, especially without him. Of course, they finished 3-2-0 on the road trip after losing to the Vegas Golden Knights 1-0 at T-Mobile Arena. Outshot 34-24. and out hit 21-10 as I share the screen. The Vegas Golden Knights were blocking a lot of shots, 17 to be exact, and 3 takeaways to none in favor of the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights just outplayed the Wings, and that's exactly why the Golden Knights won. The Red Wings just didn't perform too well. They had a day of rest in between the Sharks game and the Vegas Golden Knights game. I'm not sure if they were not ready or not. If they were not ready, but they better be ready for the New York Rangers on Friday night, but as they return home to Little Caesars Arena Friday night at 7 on FanDuel Sports Network Detroit Extra. So as I adjust a banner here, hang on a second. There we go. The Pistons post. The Pistons hang on to beat the Memphis Grizzlies 114-106. The Pistons led for most of this game. Cade Cunningham, 33 points, 19 in the fourth quarter, 8 assists. Isaiah Stewart, 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And he's now got 15 blocks total thus far this season, Isaiah Stewart, through 7 games. And then 7 games, which totaled up to 15 blocks through 7 games going into tonight's game earlier against the Utah Jazz, which I'll get to next. Tobias Harris missed both the last 2 games with a right ankle sprain. Jalen Duren, 14 and 9 boards. So there was a little bit of a regression from the from his 33-point performance in Mexico City against the Mavericks. But the Pistons held the Grizzlies to 40.2% shooting from the field and forced 20 turnovers, 33 points off of those turnovers by the Pistons. And the Pistons led by as many as 21, 81-60 with 3:59 left in the third quarter. Of course, the Grizzlies tried to come back, but the Pistons held them off nicely. And then the Utah Jazz game, the Pistons won that game too, 114-103. Cade Cunningham, another 30-plus point performance, 31 points. Of course, another 19-point fourth quarter performance by Cade Cunningham. That's the second game in a row where Cade Cunningham scored exactly 19 points in that fourth quarter. Also got 10 assists. Jalen Duren improved nicely with 22 and 22 boards. Wow. 22s are wild. Shot 10 of 15. Almost perfect. Asar Thompson, 7 of 12, 18 points plus 22. But their free throw shooting was just an ice cold 59.1%, while the Utah Jazz shot 86.2% from the stripe, 25 of 29. Pistons shot 13 of 22. That's, again, the Pistons' flaw. That flaw that the Pistons have is their lack of free throw shooting, their lack of accuracy, their lack of free throw shooting accuracy. May I put it totally? That's something they have to really work on. But Svi Mikhailiuk, 28 points for the Utah Jazz on 10 of 16. Lauri Markkanen, 25 points, another tall dude. 8 of 22 on -6. But Pistons outshot the Utah Jazz 49.5% from the field to 38.4% from the field, including 36.7% to 30.8% from three-point range. The Pistons, as we take a look at the standings, Pistons, second place in the Eastern Conference. Wow. The Bulls are 6-1, but the Pistons 6-2. That is impressive. Very, very impressive. It's still neck and neck. It's still only the beginning of the game. First 8 games and such. Each team has played a maximum. Each NBA team has played a maximum of 8 games. Pistons go to Brooklyn at Barclays Center to play the Brooklyn Nets Friday at 7:30 on FanDuel Sports Network Detroit. So the Pistons and Red Wings are going to both play on Friday night. So, yeah, we don't have any specialty segments for tonight. So as I take a sip of water here, that does it for another episode of the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. I'm Taylor Phillips. There we go. Subscribe to its YouTube channel at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. Like its videos and turn on all notifications on the bell icon. Click or tap on live to find its latest full episodes and check out its shorts videos. Also, watch it live and follow it on Twitch at Michigan Sports Truth. Listen to it in audio form on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music /Audible, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and JioSaavn. Also, join its supporters club on Spreaker, just $2 a month. On social media, follow it on X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Michigan_Truth, and on Reddit at u/Michigan_Truth. Also, like its Facebook page, facebook.com/Michigan Sports Truth, and on Patreon at patreon.com/Michigan Sports Truth. And our website is the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast.codeadx.me. And donate to the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast for Autism on GoFundMe. The goal is $2,400. Statewide business endorsements go to Cops and Donuts, Grand Traverse Pie Company, J&H Family Stores, Positive Chimney and Fireplace, and with many locations in Michigan, Farm Bureau Insurance, Michigan's Adventure, Alpine Chocolate House, with 5 locations in Manistee, Boyne City, Gaylord, Plymouth, and Sault Ste. Marie, Hudsonville Ice Cream, Grandpa's Mini Donuts, Rally House Michigan and Rally House Detroit, Tom's Food Markets, Detroit Wing Company, with one specific location in Traverse City, Simply Delightful, JR's All-Star Haircuts for Men, Tropical Touch Spa, Main Street Rocks, G's Pizzeria, Westco, and BC Pizza. Metro Detroit area business endorsements include Annex Detroit Nightclub and its Annex Angels, Chino Surf, Avenue American Bistro, Mocha Donut and Boba, the Edo Ramen House Japanese Sushi Restaurant in Southfield, the Great Lakes Crossing Mall in Auburn Hills, Empire of Detroit, Modern 7 Bistro, Northville Sports Den, the Union Barber Shop in Birmingham and Ferndale, United Mobile Power Wash and Dry Ice Works in Southfield, Frothy Girl in Ortonville, Spot Truck in Dearborn and Detroit, Athletico Physical Therapy on Woodward Street in Ferndale, Detroit Pizza Company, The Blind Owl in Royal Oak. Cali Tickets, call 877-225-8425 or visit CaliTickets.com. Reliance Pressure Washing, The Jagged Fork, Goodman Acker PC, Northwestern Technological Institute, Green Lantern Pizza, The Pins Bowling Center in South Lyon, Impact North in Ortonville, Vitamin Shop in Auburn Hills, Legacy Family Dental Center in Dearborn, and Hodges Subaru. Local business endorsements include the B4 Foundations. Go to the B4 Foundation in Ithaca, Wexford Community Credit Union in Cadillac and Lake City, Jay's Sporting Goods in Gaylord and Clare, The Front Porch in Suttons Bay, Trout Town Tavern and Eatery in Kalkaska, the El Cilantro Taco Shop in Petoskey, Bay Mills Resort and Casino in Brimley, Fuel Up Nutrition in Clare, J&S Hamburg in Traverse City and Kingsley, United Food Service Solutions in Grand Ledge, the Asian Buffet in Cadillac in Traverse City, Ludington Meat Company, McBain Hardware, Vandry Home Furnishings in Cadillac, Home Lake, Big Rapids, and Traverse City, Pearl's New Orleans Kitchen in Elk Rapids, Herman Hisson Company in Bay City, Fletcher's Pub Texas Corners in Kalamazoo, the Michigan Theater of Jackson, Hooters in Saginaw, Anna's House in Grand Rapids, Coffee Beanery in Flushing, Merritt Speedway, Northport Pub and Grill, Northern Logistics, and Spicer's Boat City in Houghton Lake. Traverse City business endorsements go to TC Man Cave for great sports haircuts, K1 Speed, Play It Again Sports, Erica Nita of Traverse City Real Estate, Yen Yoga and Fitness inside the Delamar Resort on Front Street, Firefly Kitchen and Bars, Traverse City Fun Running, Margarita's Grill, Well-Being with Catherine Palms, Bayview Flooring, North Coast Golf Shop, and Team Bob's Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Cadillac business endorsements go to Cadillac Grill, Cadillac Nutrition, Cadillac Horizon Books, Creative Embroidery for designing the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast logo on my long sleeve shirt and t-shirt, Michigan Coffee Company, Pro Quality Cleaners, Raven Social Restaurant and Brewery, Wildflower Bakery, Northern Star Event Rentals, Primo's Barbecue, Wexford Jewelers, Evolve Yoga and Fitness, Chunky Bear Coffee Roasters, The Truck Stop, Cadillac Lofts Apartments, Bigelow Supply, The Food Mafia's Let's Roll With It Rolled Ice Cream, Evergreen Resort, Tees Tanning Salon, The Pines Sports Bar and Bowling Center, Wexford Senior Care Center, the Max Swings Indoor Golf Center, Blue Heron Cafe, Biner's Pizza, Cabaret Peaks, the Cadillac Party Lounge, and the Sweet Shop. And finally, Lake City business endorsements go to Cuts by Melanie, the LC Tap House, To the Moon Bakery, Northern Auto Lab, and the Misaki Golf Club Golf Course. Until next time, this is Taylor Phillips signing off, but remember, stay on the lookout and just know that we observe and detect the truth about Michigan sports because the truth is everywhere and out there. Ta-ta, hit him with a hind. Power to the people, Baba Booey to y'all.